Worried about your drinking? Reserve your place on today's free Quit Drinking webinar and get a copy of my best-selling book, Alcohol Lied to Me, as a gift just for turning up. www.stopdrinkingexpert.com. Hello, Sober Army. How are you? This is Craig Beck, aka the Stop Drinking Expert. And today we're going to talk about hypnosis to quit drinking. Now, you may occasionally see on Facebook and on social media lots of adverts suggesting that if you just buy their hypnosis track, it will cure your problem. Look, I've been a hypnotherapist for 30 years now, and I'm here to tell you that if an advert makes that claim, they're either not a very good hypnotherapist or they're lying to you, because hypnotherapy is too broad a sword to deal with alcohol on its own. Alcoholism is not a problem to be fixed. Problem drinking, alcoholism, is a symptom of a problem. And that problem is unique to you. It's different for you than it was for me. So how can you download a hypnosis track that knows this? You can't. And so for that reason, in my experience, hypnotherapy is effective in less than 10% of use cases. And I'm being very generous with that stat. So it doesn't work on its own, but it is a valuable tool in the box. So let's dig into this email here from Craig. It says, "Hi, Craig. I'm also Craig, and I'm 50. You young bugger, you. I'm 51. And I've always struggled with alcohol. My dad was and is an alcoholic. I'm a high-functioning person with a great business, but I struggle badly with daily drinking. I was recommended your book and listened to it. I've not drank for 24 hours. I've also bought supplements and bought the hypnosis download. My question is regarding hypnosis. I've tried this many times when I'm on the couch or listening. I don't seem to be able to get into it. My mind won't just stop thinking. Do you have any ideas on this? Finally, thank you for producing this book. I think I've learned more from this than any other I have read." Well, 24 hours done and a lifetime to go. Thank you so much, Craig. All right, good email, good questions, good concerns. So, Craig, I think firstly, you may be under a false impression of what hypnosis is, because we're kind of conditioned to have an expectation of it. You know, we grew up watching Scooby-Doo, didn't we, where they would swing the watch in front of the person's eyes. Their eyes would start spinning around and round, and they would go, "I am in a trance, I am under your control." So that's one view of hypnosis. Or you expect to be in this amazingly peaceful, tranquil state where it's almost mystical, lying with your eyes closed, so deeply relaxed. The problem is, if you apply an expectation to it, then you get attached to an outcome. And anything that happens to you that doesn't match your expectation then becomes labeled a failure. You say, "Oh, well, that didn't work." So just remove the sensation that you have to know what's going to happen. The truth is, Craig, you can't get this wrong. There's nothing to get wrong. All you have to do is see it as a state of deep relaxation. That's all it is. You're taking 20, 30 minutes out of your day just to breathe and relax. That's all you have to do. And yes, if you've got an active mind, you will find it wandering because it's boring. Hypnotherapy is boring. It has to be boring because that induction at the start of the track is to kind of bore your guard dog to sleep. In normal everyday life, you have a guard dog, the conscious mind, and it's judging and it's questioning everything. And it's working now. You know, it probably has an opinion on me. You know, you could be saying to yourself, "Yeah, okay, I buy that, I agree with that." Or you could be saying, "No, not having any of this." That's your guard dog, your conscious mind, making judgments, making assessments. So the hypnotherapy is boring to try and make your guard dog go to sleep or be a bit less attentive. And then I can talk directly to your subconscious mind. Now, and the reason I want to talk to your subconscious mind is because there is no guard dog there. It makes no judgment. It has no opinions. It just runs programs. So it's fine if you catch your mind wandering. That's just your guard dog waking up and and trying to entertain itself. All you have to do is notice that you've drifted and pull it back. But don't stress about that. If you stress about it, you'll just make it worse. So if you're lying there and you start thinking about what you're going to have for dinner tonight, just go, oh, pull it back. Now, initially, you'll have to do this every few seconds, probably. But the more you do it, and I suggest you do it every day for a month, at least 21 days, the more you do it, the less you'll worry about that. But it's this, this rule applies to everything in life, Craig. What you try and push away gets stronger. Okay? So just accept it. What you accept in life, then that just allows life to flow better. So every time you get annoyed at yourself for not getting into it, every time you get annoyed at yourself for drifting off and thinking about something else, that's the act of pushing away. You're angry at yourself. You don't want to do that. So you go, "Argh!" and you push it away and it gets stronger. So from now on, every time that happens, notice it, accept what's happening, and pull it back to the present moment. Okay? That's all you have to do. Don't overthink it. Don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. Hypnosis is a part of the 4 things that I talk about in the course at stopdrinkingexpert.com. It's one of the 4 things, daily hypnosis. And I saw a comment on Facebook today from someone who said, I've been doing the course for 3 weeks and I'm still drinking. I'm really disappointed. Can anyone give me some advice? And when I see comments like that, I know that they're not doing the 4 things. Because if you do the 4 things, you don't drink. It's as simple as that. Now, if you're thinking, well, okay, great. What are the other 3 things, Craig? I'm not telling you. Because if you don't know, then you either didn't do the course properly, or you didn't read the book, or you assume that there is one sentence that will fix your problem. There isn't. This is not, alcohol problems don't arrive overnight. They take decades to establish. And anyone who thinks that they can fix it with one paragraph, one statement, one secret, one magic bullet is deluding themselves. At the start of the book, I always say, don't skip to the end thinking you're going to find a summary that takes all the work out and makes this easy. It is the journey through the book and through the course that ends up at the desired outcome. It's about the journey, not the destination. So if you're watching this, and I'm not just talking to you, Craig, I'm talking to all of my members, all of the people who've done the course. If you've done the course or read the book and you don't know what the 4 things are, then you have not done it properly. And therefore, it will not work properly. So I encourage you to go back and do it again and keep doing it until you have that eureka moment, that penny drop moment. For some people, it happens with 1 go through on the course. Other people it takes 10. Who knows? But one thing is for certain, as long as you apply consistency, passion, and persistence, you will get to the outcome you want to be. Happy, sober, permanently. All right. Thanks a lot. See you in the next episode of the Happy Sober Podcast. Worried about your drinking? Reserve your place on today's free Quit Drinking webinar and get a copy of my best-selling book, Alcohol Lied to Me, as a gift just for turning up. www.stopdrinkingexpert.com